So before I tear my studio down, I figured I'd give you a tour. What's going on, guys? Adam Ivy, you heard right. I'm about to tear down all of this. And before you jump in the comments saying, oh, you quitting music, oh, this and that, like, watch the video. This is gonna be you and me hanging out for this one. I am tearing down the studio. In a couple of days, I'm gonna be tearing down the keyboard. It's gonna be taking the desk, the computer, everything you see, the camera, the chair, me, to the brand new house that we just purchased about a week and a half ago. Now, May was a glorious month. We went to my cousin's wedding up in Boston. Shout out to my cousin Jonathan. We went to Hawaii for a little over a week to just decompress, relax, give myself permission to kind of just take a breather, find inspiration again, recenter myself. And I said, why not just do a life update video for you guys? You guys have been with me for a very long time. Those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and all the business stuff, thumbs up for the algorithm. But what I wanted to do is give you guys a final, kind of a farewell video, not to me, not to this content, not to this channel, but to the studio as you guys know it. One thing I talk about all the time on this channel is use what you have until what you have buys what you want, pays for what you want. You upgrade, 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 and that's fine. And I got the same, fever in my life, right?
I got a fever.
I always wanted the newest monitors. I wanted the newest keyboard. I wanted a better desk. I wanted fancier, bigger, bigger, and all that good stuff. And then I got this house with my wife. We bought it a couple years ago. And what I did, if you guys aren't familiar with it, is I took a secondary living room upstairs and I converted it into my creative space / office. A lot of you guys might not know this, but I do have a team of some of my best friends in the world, but they're also my employees when it comes to actually building the businesses that I run, the education business, the platform business that I own, a couple other businesses. And I'll talk about that in future videos. But I said, you know what? I don't ever really do unpolished content here on YouTube. I don't ever do unscripted, just raw, real, don't have to have all the fancy lights, don't have to have anything like that. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that because this studio is awesome. I made a lot of great memories in here, made a lot of great music, made a lot of great relationships with you guys through these videos. But I realized after we actually moved into our official office now, our headquarters, I didn't need such a big room, and I would rather allocate space in my home for getting away from work than making more space in my home for work. I got to the point over the last couple of years where I started feeling like I was living in my office rather than I had an office where I lived, and that kind of became a problem. Now, this room isn't a problem, it's the mentality behind it. And I said, you know what? I have another vision for another studio, and I'm a builder, so I get bored. Now, this new house that we're gonna be in, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be we're calling it our forever home. Those of you who follow me over on Instagram have seen some behind the scenes, and I'll give you a tour and everything of that once I unpack my life with my wife over there. So the dogs are loving it. We have a very big yard. Anyway, this studio, where should I start? As you see the acoustic panels behind me. Shout out to Overtone Acoustics. You guys, I'll show you all around and I'll do a complete walkthrough here in a second. But I just wanted to tell you guys, just man to audience, right? I don't want to misrepresent any of you guys, but I wanted to just have a real conversation about the fact that I built this thing being such a large room, and the larger it became, the smaller I felt in it. I no longer started feeling like it was a creative space where I was just inspired all the time. And like I said, maybe it was because I started feeling like I was living in my office. But I also started feeling like I made this room to be multiple video sets. I made this room to be a workspace for multiple team members. I made this space to be everything that I needed so I would never have to leave. And though through the pandemic, we've been told to, stay home, keep distance and all that stuff, it came in handy. But now it's time to kind of bid farewell. And the guy who bought this house, who's moving in just a few weeks, is a musician. So shout out to you if you happen to be a subscriber or you ever stumble upon this video. I'm very glad that a fellow musician is taking it over because I made an agreement with their real estate agent that I'm leaving all the acoustic panels that you see in this office, even the star panel, which I'm going to be very sad about, but the next space is going to be a holy crapola going to be pretty awesome. I have some ideas, and I'm going to be working with a couple companies to make those ideas a reality. So how about, we got Chico behind the camera. He's going to help me here. We're going to do the quickest, most straightforward studio tour you've probably ever seen. I want to know in the comments below what you think of this studio, how long you've been subscribed, and yeah, just tell me about yourself. How long you've been making music, because I want to connect with you guys. The new content that's coming out, next level stuff. I always promise that, but I always deliver at the same time. So let's do it. How about it? So what we have over here, I'm going to give you a full kind of 360 tour. This wall behind me, right? I built this wall. This was just an open living room when we first moved in. It was carpeted. I obviously did the tile. Chico, if you want to show the tile floor, it's just a simulated wood. I believe it's porcelain tile. It's the more durable because we have 2 big dogs. And so I wanted it, you probably showed the dust bunnies. I don't ever dust or vacuum behind the keyboards. Don't judge me. Anyway, the dry erase board over here was always full. I erased it because we recently had some showings over here. But this is an office. This is an active workspace. So as you can see up here, we have an aperture light that I use as my hair light. It gives a halo, it gives a ring around all of my YouTube videos. And since I was always shooting right here from this chair, I pointed that light up there because then I didn't have to have a light stand. I said, hey, why don't I just wire it? I already have electric up in the ceiling. And that's done a very good job. Hopefully it's not blinding you guys. Anyway, IKEA chair that everybody has. This is like the best chair ever. I've bought a half a dozen other chairs. And this is the best one. I think I've had 3. No, I've had like 5 of these now since I started producing music. Anyway, over here, we have the Sequential Pro 3, absolutely awesome synth. Admittedly, I haven't had time to get into this as much as I'd like to. I love this one though. It's the Prophet Rev 2 by Sequential as well. Used to be Dave Smith Instruments. Still the same company, just they go by Sequential now because it's a little bit more brandable, I think. Shout out to Dave Smith. These are awesome. I'm an in-the-box guy. I know a lot of you guys are as well when it comes to plugins, when it comes to do everything, just click a mouse, right? But I'm a very hands-on individual as well. That's why I was a carpenter. I'm a mechanic, a bodybuilder. Jessing. Well, not really bodybuilder, but you know, a fitness enthusiast, to say the least. We're not going to talk about that. Anyway, I like to get my hands on stuff, and I like to be able to not have my computer on and still dink around with sound design. Those of you who have been doing music for a long time, whether you're using Omnisphere, whether you're still using Nexus or the new Nexus 3, which is awesome, whether you're using Trillion or like any of the other plugins, I could sit here and just come through all the different you guys understand? Spectrasonics. There we go. All the different plugins that I've used over the years. I think I have 4 or 5 terabytes worth of plugins. I bought all this stuff. I'm trying to censor myself because of the YouTube algorithm. I bought all this stuff thinking that it would make me more inspired. And even though I like dinking around with it, I love playing around with different sounds and seeing what the presets are, seeing where I can take it. You don't need this stuff. It's visually appealing for YouTube videos. It's really cool to walk into the spaceship, as I called it. But you don't need this stuff. Half the sounds, not half the sound, like the majority of the sounds that I still use are still coming from VSTs. But shout out to Sequential, shout out to, there's a million different manufacturers. I'm not sponsored by them, so I'm not going to shout them all out. But Sequential makes some incredible different synths and audio workstations. Anyway, so these are the audio workstations. Next, we have my main monitors, which are the Atom Audio A7Xs. I've talked about these several times before. Atom Audio. If you're listening, if you're watching this video, send me some A77Xs, the wide ones, because I'd love to review them and share them with my audience. Please, contact information in the description box below. Anyway, I love these things. I had some Yamaha HS8s, which I really actually, I think I appreciate more now than I did. But the A7Xs, I would not go back to the Yamahas, just personal preference. Now what we have here is a secondary monitor. These are the Aventone Mixcube Active. So the difference between active and inactive is the active ones have built-in power. They have built-in amps. So you just plug them in, then you plug them to your signal chain, whether it be your audio interface or a mixer controller. Not a mixer controller, a monitor controller. The inactive ones you have to plug into a receiver. They're essentially glorified speakers that you just plug in speaker wires to, and then you have to run them through a power source. Anyway, I really like using these. To be honest with you, I only use these final mix down, because if they sound good in the Aventone mix cubes, they're gonna sound good everywhere. Ultimately, I do my final mix downs on these, which are the Audio-Technica M50X, because like this comes out now. Kind of nice for traveling. This is the 4th or 5th pair I've had of these. Every time they wear out, I just buy a new pair because these are the real deal. I've used others. There's other ones that are great. Anyway, pushing that to the side. This right here is my preamp compressor. This is a Universal Audio LA610 Mark II. I had one. It works beautifully with the Neumann TLM 103 microphone that I have over there. We're not going to worry about that right now. I sold this and the TLM 103 a couple of years ago, probably about 5 years ago now, and I missed it, so I bought it again, bought the mic again. Everything's good. I do have the Slate Digital VMS system that's boxed up. It's over at the new house already. Shout out to Slate and all the people over there. So this is the LG 49-inch. I'll put the model number up on the screen right now because I don't remember off the top of my head what this is. It is a heavy mofo though. This is mounted to the wall with a heavy duty computer arm. I went through 4 different arms until I found the arm for this. Not bragging at all because I still throw up in my mouth a little bit when I think about it, but the arm itself was like $300 just in order to hold this. You know, I can lift this up, bring it down, and it stays. All the other ones, you lift it up, it would slam down. It with a computer monitor that's even any price computer monitor, you don't want it to break, right? So I invested in this knowing that it would last me a while. I can have 4 different windows up at the same time. Typically, I only run 2 or 3, and I've loved it. My main audio interface, a lot of you guys ask me, is the Apollo Duo. Now the Apollo Duo is a Firewire because I still use a 2017, I think it's a 2017 Mac Pro trash can. You guys can actually, Danny, AKA Chico, why don't you just show them? It's ugly, but I'm gonna show you guys. It's back here. So that is all my computer equipment. That's the Mac, that is the G-RAID, 20 terabyte storage, that's the Thunderbolt 2 dock, all of the different hard drives that you see.
See the arm back there.
Oh yeah, and that's the arm. This right here is a little ring light that I use when I did some Zoom calls from my laptop here. And it goes back just like that. Welcome back. Now what we have over here, move this over a little bit more. This is the Little Phatty by Moog. Let me know in the comments below how you pronounce it, because I've always pronounced it Moog. Anyway, I love this thing. Admittedly, though, the Sequential Pro 3, in my opinion, can do everything that the Little Phatty can do and more, but this one has this weird, authentic sound that you can't replicate with that. So that's why I have both. I don't use this very often, though, to be quite honest with you. I primarily use the Pro 3, but it's a vintage piece of gear. The keys aren't that yellowed yet. That's one thing that you see a lot with the Little Phatty is the keys get really yellow. Doesn't matter if it's inside or out. I don't know who's having one outside. Anyway, in the sunlight is what I'm getting at. So yeah, this is in great condition. I think I have the volume down. Yeah, I have the volume down right now. Otherwise, I would jam out for you. Anyway, this right here is the Juno DS by Roland. This has a lot of great presets. And what I do is this one in particular, I have patched via MIDI to the M Audio Hammer 88. And this is just a fully weighted MIDI controller. I play the keys by ear. I don't know how to read music, unfortunately. And for years and years and years, my goal was to have a real piano within my house or the apartment or wherever I was living. And up until recently, I never had the space, never had the resources, whatever. Luckily, the new house does have a Baldwin upright piano that we found recently. Shout out to Richard, who sold it to me for a steal. I appreciate you. But this is the next best thing. This was Dylan Graham, AKA DG. He recommended this to me. He had one, still might have one, and it feels pretty realistic. Before that, I had a Yamaha KX8, which was another fully weighted. It had the same key bed as the Yamaha Motif, full-sized 88 key, which I really enjoyed. I sold that, instantly regretted it, so I needed another fully weighted. Yeah, piano bench, sustain pedal, not a big deal. And then right here is my main MIDI controller. This is the Akai Professional Advance 61. it is what it is. It's a great MIDI controller. They're always coming out with new MIDI controllers with new lights and pads and features and this and that. This is synced with Logic, so I can go through and with the different knobs up here. I can go through the different VSTs, not all of them, but a lot of them. I can go through the VSTs and change the presets, go down the list instead of having to grab the mouse and do it that way. This desk, a lot of people ask what this desk is. It's a ProRack 61. That's PRORAK 61. I found it on Craigslist. I drove down to Fort Myers with a box truck with a little Sprinter van and picked it up. Originally, I think it's like $1,200 or $1,400. I believe I got it for $600 from a gentleman that lived down there. He was a musician, a producer, beat maker who was moving out of his parents' house on a golf course. It was a surreal experience. He opened the door. His dad has 3 Porsches. It was just like this rich kid from a movie. He's like, oh, take it. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Anyway, great condition, great desk, but whatever works for you guys works for you guys. Again, I get inspired by all this different stuff. I feel like I finally pieced together my dream home studio as far as the setup goes, but the location doesn't matter as much. As you can hear, it's pretty quiet in here. There's a little bit more reverb, because there's not a whole lot of stuff going on in here anymore. I don't have any furniture. I don't have a big desk. I don't have armchairs and all that good stuff. But behind me, all of the acoustic treatment in this room came from Overtone Acoustics. Their link will be in the description box below. Shout out to Brad for all the help in making this room a reality. Now those simulated rocks, those rocks are just foam. I bought them from a company down in Fort Lauderdale. I will hunt them down and put them in the description box below. They're not real, they're just panels that are just tacked up with some screws. They're not even glued to the wall. But since they are foam, and since there's a variety of different surface levels and a lot of nooks and crannies, they actually have some acoustic treatment, acoustic properties to them as well. So the diffusers, the corner traps, this right here is all foam with a track system thanks to Overtone Acoustics. So it sounds pretty good. I wasn't in here long enough to actually hang all the acoustics. I had a couple more clouds that I was gonna hang. All that wall that I showed you that I built, I planned on covering that with acoustics so it'd be super, 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 super quiet in here. And we got to the point where I was happy with it, and now we're moving. So all of this stuff is staying for the next guy. Shout out to him. The sign, all of my custom neon signs, I have 3, you guys have only seen 2 because one's still in the box, are from a company on Instagram called MK Neon, mk.neon. Shout out to them in the description box below. I'll have a link. I'll try to get a discount code. We'll see if that works. And all it is it's just this little switch. I turn it off and on. And I built out this little wall. It's just 2x4 wall so that I can mount that track system. And there's LEDs all the way around. In some videos, you might see that over there's a section of the LED that flickers and it drives Chico and I crazy. And I never know it's doing it until I'm shooting an actual video. Now, if you want to aim up, this is the cloud system. Every 5 minutes, it's on a timer for a shooting star to go by. It is 4 feet by 8 feet. And it is an active cloud system as far as it's foam. It absorbs some noise reflection, some sound reflection. And it has built-in, what do you want to call it? Kind of like a Rolls-Royce roof. It has the fiber optic cables. I'm going to be working with that company in my next studio to make it, it's going to be pretty awesome. Now I'm going to bring the chair back over here. Doing all of this in a one take, so bear with me. It's not going to be as polished as you might be used to. Have a couple bass traps over here, the windows. Since I am moving, I took the Indo window inserts that I've talked about in previous videos. I took them out. I'm taking them to the next house. They're not exactly the same size, but I'm gonna have a local glass and mirror shop cut them down and they'll work just fine. Now let's go all the way over here. You guys might be used to seeing this set as well. I've used this set a lot in a lot of videos. In fact, right now on the screen, I'll show you a couple different videos where I'm sitting here in a blue chair. This is just another set. I had a wallpaper guy come in, bought some wallpaper off of wayfair.com, relatively inexpensive, and it gives the look of brick. Obviously, it's not real brick, it's wallpaper. But Overtone Acoustics, yet again, came through clutch with 8 different 1 foot by 4 foot panels. They're I think 1 or 2 inches, no, they're 1 inch deep, maybe a little bit more. And they're super lightweight, super easy to install, and they helped a lot in here as far as the reflection off the back wall. Again, another logo from a company that I've been growing behind the scenes. Shout out to MK Neon. They did it all for me. So this main wall here, as I've talked to you about before in Dream Home Studio videos, I'm building my dream home. Run the song. Welcome to my home studio build.
Baby, come and find me. I'm building my dream home studio. I'm gonna build it with these 2 hands.
This is a 7.5 inch wide wall. There's 3 layers of acoustically treated drywall. There's 3 layers of rock wool, very, very heavy duty acoustically treated insulation. And that's it, guys. I got a little area rug, and that's it. I had custom, what do you want to call it? Custom can lights put in here. But if you just want to do a panning shot of the room, I'll stand behind you and just show it all. This was my dream home studio, guys. And you were along with me. Dozens of videos, hundreds of students have joined me since making video in this space. Shooting all of this handheld today, just to give you guys a realistic view of what this space is. You guys see the videos all the time with the fancy lights, the camera angles, the expensive cameras, all this stuff. And cool, like I wanna give you guys an A+ experience at all points moving forward. It's gonna get better. When 8K is the norm, all my stuff will be 8K. The lighting, everything's going to come into place. But I also realized through reading your messages, reading your emails, that you just want real behind the scenes. What do I do in my personal life, right? What does my life look like when I'm not doing the polished? What's going on? There's 5 steps on how to grow a YouTube channel. I want to be part of your life as more than a utility, as more than a list guy, as more than just 1 tip per week to grow your Instagram audience. I'm going to be bringing that heat. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be bringing a whole lot of it, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Insta, all that good stuff. But this is the studio. So come with me, cameraman. I feel like I'm on an infomercial now. Shout out to Chico for holding a heavy ass camera for like 20 minutes. So yeah, let's put the camera down. Give this guy a little bit of a break. Let me, there we go. Eventually. There we go. We good?
We're back.
All right. Good Lord, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this impromptu, off the cuff studio tour. You don't need a room like this to make awesome music. Some of the producers that I look up to most right now that are on the come up are making this stuff in a spare bedroom, and their bed is 3 feet away from them when they're doing it. I love the space. You should always aspire to move forward in what you want to do, but your vision of success isn't predicated on having a cool studio tomorrow. It's where you're going to lead your life, where you're going to go, how you're going to utilize life. It's going to take you to where you want to be, right? Having some keyboards, having a cool desk, having a rock wall behind you. That's my vision. That's what my life looks like. Yours doesn't have to look like this. Guys, in the comments below, let me know how long you've been producing. Let me know what your dream home studio looks like. And guess what color scheme I'm going with in my next studio. I look forward to showing that to you guys. Anyway, if you haven't yet, watch this video to see me start building this entire studio itself. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that bell notification to be notified anytime I upload a video just like this. We have a list about that long of videos that we're going to be putting up on YouTube very soon. I appreciate your patience with me, but we're back, baby, and I'll see you soon.